What is up, my fellow Twibians? I am Logan, the Totally Epic Gamer, and today I'm going to show you my draw rogue deck that's mainly spells and moves around, God's and Auctioneer, and just general card draw. So what this deck really starts with is a very left mana curve. So as you see, I have a lot of zeros, ones, twos, and threes, and then a random boost at 5. And I'm going to show you why there's that random boost at 5, but for right now, that's just what it looks like. And then I'm going to show you the alterations you could make to this deck and the different things you could put in. But this is what I have to work with, and so this is what I use, and it's a pretty strong deck. As you're about to see, it does fairly well. I got to rank 13 with the deck from 25. It's not bad. I could get higher. I just haven't played enough. I win fairly often. I got to 13 very quickly. So most rogue decks actually start with backstab anyways. It's an amazing card, absolutely amazing. Costs you nothing and deals 2 damage. That's unbelievable. I know it's only to an undamaged minion, but if you get backstab really early on, you control the early game easily. Almost everybody runs 3/2s. Not many people run 2/3s anymore, and if they do run a 2/3 on turn 2, you get to pull out a dagger anyways, which makes you control the board even harder. Backstab is just an amazing card, but that's not why it's so amazing. Why backstab is so amazing, just like why preparation is so amazing in this deck, is because of Gadgets and Auctioneer. Now, Gadgets and Auctioneer, whenever you cast a spell, you draw a card. Backstab, if you play Gadgets and Auctioneer on turn 5, you backstab somebody, you get a card. You backstab another person, you get another card. That's 2 card draws on turn 5. If you have both preps in your hand, you play them both. That's 4 draw cards on your turn, so you get to draw 4 cards. And then say you get 2 Fan of Knives, that's a draw from Fan of Knives and a draw from Auctioneer. That's 8 cards on turn 5. That is an unbelievable amount of cards. Nobody will ever get a better card draw than that. And once you draw 8 cards, you have control of the game. Believe me, it's very hard for somebody to come back when you're 8 cards ahead of them. Even though this deck doesn't look like there's much to it, it does a lot of damage and it's very hard to get rid of. It's very strong. Cold Blood is generally a card that you'll use with Leroy Jenkins, or if you happen to have minions still on the board, Cold Blood can also be really good. It's just free 4 damage. It's one cost for 4 damage. It's very strong. I like to do it on generally around turn 6 if I can get Leroy Jenkins out. And if they have less than 14 health on turn 6, they're gonna lose if I have Leroy Jenkins and 2 Cold Bloods, because I pop Leroy, double Cold Blood, and Leroy does 14 damage. That's a turn 6 14 damage. Pyroblast does 10 on a turn 8. It's unbelievable damage, and it can't be stopped unless they have taunt. It's very strong. There's a couple of drawbacks to this deck that seem like drawbacks but aren't really. As you can see, I have no silences, and that's for a pretty good reason. You don't need silences. You have a lot of removal, and you don't really need it. Leroy Jenkins is really good in this deck because you have Blade Flurry, which clears the board as long as you have a weapon in your hand, and Fan of Knives, which clears Leroy Jenkins minions, and Leroy Jenkins becomes a 6/2 for free, and it's very strong. Shiv, you only need 1. It's 1 damage, draw a card. Generally, you only use it if you have Blood Mage Thalnos or one of the Azure Drakes out, because then it does 2 damage, which is a huge amount of damage for a 2-drop. 2-drop that does 2 damage and draws you a card, that's amazing. So pretty much what this deck is all about is drawing cards until you're out of cards. So in the game I'm about to show you, at the end of the game, I have 5 cards left to draw in my deck, and the other person has 20. I ran through that many cards, but it's not about like you running out of. It's not about you decking yourself. It's about you go through every single card in your deck and you win the game. It's unbelievable. It's very fast. Eviscerate is very strong in this deck, and the reason you have a lot of spell power like Blood Mage Thalnos and the Azure Drakes is because if you have an Azure Drake out or a Blood Mage Thalnos out, 2 Eviscerates. Okay, so on turn 6, let's take turn 6 for example, and I drop Blood Mage Thalnos. Drop double Eviscerate, that's 10 damage. That's 10 face damage. That is unbelievable. Like I say turn 6 a lot because it's such an important turn. Your early turns will be all about drawing cards, maybe throwing down Ardent Squire, maybe throwing out Deadly Poison, clearing the board, stuff like that. You pretty much want the board clearing around 5, 6, 7, because when those turns come up, you have control, because that's when Gadgets and Auctioneer comes out, Azure Drake comes out, you start spamming out all your spells, and it's just a massacre. Fairy Dragon, you have it so that you can't get cleared by mages very quickly. Ardent Squire, you throw it out because it's hard to remove. Blood Mage Thalnos, you throw out because it's 1 spell damage, plus when it dies, you draw a card. Novice Engineer is obviously for the card draw. SI7 Agent is amazing. It's a 3/3/3 that deals 2 damage. It's like backstab and a 3/3 for 3. That's unbelievable. This card is comparable to Stormpike Commander, I think, who's 5 drop for 4/2, and then it deals 2 damage to somebody. SI7 Agent is 2 mana less, the same stat potential, and deals 2 damage. It's pretty much saving you 2 mana. It's an amazing card. If Stormpike Commando was like this, everybody would run it in their deck because it's such a strong card. Leroy Jenkins, obviously, is pretty much like a free Power Blast, and Assassinate, you need this card for when, say you're going up against a Druid, which is actually very hard for you to go against. Say on turn 8, you have them at maybe 4 HP, but they have Trend Protector in the way. Assassinate, Leroy Jenkins, go. Like, you hopefully have a prep so you can turn 8 them, but yeah, Assassinate, very strong. You only need 1 because if it gets to the point where they throw out like 3 big minions, 2 Assassinates isn't going to help you. So you need 1 Assassinate and that's it. You notice I only have 1 Blade Flurry as well, because Blade Flurry, you pretty much need it for the crazy damage and that's it. Azure Drake, obviously spell damage and draw a card. Azure Drake is just amazing in most decks. Gadgets and Auction, I already talked about. You can draw 8 cards on 1 turn. It's unbelievable. And RG Commander, he's pretty much in there just for a quick board clear. That's all he's in there for. A quick board clear. You do not need 2. You need 1 quick board clear. Done. And that's the deck, and I'm going to show you how it works. So here you see going up against a Hunter, and I get an amazing draw. Argent Squire, Novice Engineer, Fairy Dragon, very strong draw against a Hunter. And I do actually make really quick work of this Hunter. And then I take out the Azure Drake and get another Fairy Dragon. It's one of the best draws you could ask for. I definitely would have won this game regardless, but the nice deck draw helped. Generally, if you go second, the 4 cards you get are very important, but you'll almost always, if you get rid of the right cards, you'll almost always get an amazing first hand. So right now I have Fan of Knives as well, and it looks like he might be trying to do a rushdown deck with a lot of 1s, so Fan of Knives is really strong here. And as you see, Argent Squire, it's direct counter to Worgen Infiltrator. He has no chance. I throw down Novice Engineer to start my deck draw out, and I get 2 preps, which is very good, because if I get Gadgets and Auctioneer soon, that means I get 2 cards right away, and hopefully I get another 2 free cards because I have spells in my hand. And then I'm just kind of waiting for his turn. He drops Animal Companion, and he actually gets a pretty good one. The worst one he could have got was the Charge one, and he gets Leshrac, which isn't bad going against my deck. And I get a Gadgets and Auctioneer. This game went really well for me, but this is actually generally how most games go. It's not even luck, it's just how it happens. And you see I don't attack Leshrac here because I get 2 free damage. He's going to pull out cards here, and he might get 2 free damage off Leshrac, but the point is I have Fairy Dragon, and that's pretty much his bane. Because he's going to try and attack. Next turn, I could, if I want, pull out daggers, but I'm probably going to coin, Gadgets and Auctioneer, prep, Fan of Knives, prep again, and probably get something. Because during that I'm going to get 3 card draws anyways, so it's just unreal. Also, the coin works with Gadgets and Auctioneer, but yeah. And so here you'll see he gets kind of unlucky with his attack, with his like random Knife Juggler attack. But then I say well played kind of douchily because I know he just played a very bad card draw against me. I get Cold Blood, which is also crazy. I prep, there's 1 card. A Fan of Knives, there's 2 more cards. So I'm just kind of waiting for the cards to come through, and I also get Backstab, which is unbelievable. This game just went really well for me, and then I attack. And I think I prep here, but I'm not sure. No, I don't prep here. I actually thought about prepping Cold Blooding for an extra 2 cards, but I figured that was actually a waste. Preparation is an amazing card. Next spell you cast this turn costs 3 less. That's pretty much most of my spells except for 1, which is Assassinate. So he silences you, and I have a second Auction here. He just got so unlucky, and I get 3 card draw if I want next turn by throwing down the Auctioneer, backstabbing, prepping, and then throwing out another spell. I don't think I do that, but that's something I could have done. So here we go. I do throw down the second Auctioneer. I'm thinking, yeah. And I know he's played both his silences already, which was unfortunate for him, but hey, it happens. Yeah, there we go. And right now he has 3 cards in his hand. I have 6. He's 4 cards in his hand. I have 6 in my hand, and I have 3 cards on the board, and 2 of them are not bad cards. So he's in a fucking world of trouble. And if you get 2 Auctioneers down, yes, you do get 2 cards per spell. It's unbelievable. So right here, this is actually a really good play by him. He gets 3 Unleash the Hounds, which means he has a chance to like get my Auctioneers down, but he gets a really unlucky RNG with his Knife Juggler, and only 1 of them actually hits my Auctioneer, and it hits the wrong Auctioneer. I would be pissed if I was him. He actually stalls the game right here and just waits a little bit, and he doesn't really know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do either. Like, I think I would almost immediately go for my 4-3 Auctioneer just because then you get a kill. But this is what he does. This is the mistake he makes because I know what card he has in his hand. I'm pretty sure he has multi-shot or something in his hand, and this is what makes me think it. He's going to attack me once with one of the Unleash the Hounds. He's going to attack an Auctioneer. It might have been a misclick, or he might have just legitimately thought that he had multi-shot or something. I'm not sure. But multi-shot does 3 damage to 2 random targets, so it might not even have hit the right Auctioneer. But he stalls it for a little bit here, trying to think of what to do. What he should have done was Unleash the Hounds all on the 4-3 Auctioneer. But he didn't. This is what he did. He attacked my 1 Auctioneer once, and then attacked me twice with Unleash the Hounds. So this turn was actually pretty easy for me. I knew exactly what to do. I get a free Shiv, so I draw a card, plus I draw another card from Auctioneer, so it's 2 card draw. Pretty unbelievable. And then I think I play SI7 Agent here and Cold Blood. And yeah, I do. SI7 Agent is very strong, like I said, takes out Knife Juggler for free, and then I Cold Blood the 4-3 Silenced Auctioneer. I think about the 4-3 Novice, but then I realized that I need to put it on somebody that makes it a threat. So an 8-3 is a huge threat. But now he can't get rid of both of my threats on the board, because I have 2 threats now, and he can't get rid of the both. And right here I get a little cheeky. I prep, and then I don't Fan of Knives. That would be really stupid. I just get 2 free cards. But I Eviscerate for 4 damage. I'm very, very far ahead of him. And then I pull another Eviscerate, and I know the game's over, because I can just card draw, Deadly Poison, Blade Flurry, it's over. So here you go. This is the final part. He's so screwed. He can't get rid of both Auctioneers. There's no way in his deck that he can get rid of both. He tries to get rid of one and he succeeds because the 8-3 is the biggest threat. Like I said, he had 2 threats on the board. He couldn't get rid of both. And he plays 2 secrets here, but it does not matter. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make daggers, Deadly Poison. I'm gonna attack him with the dagger, and then I'm gonna Blade Flurry, and that's just what happens. It's a very easy game. Everything came together really well for me, but this is what this is what happens. You play cards like this and it goes crazy. I'm gonna get a free deck draw here. Yep. And then I'm gonna attack. Oh, I Eviscerate him. Oh, that's cheeky. I do that just so I can show you how much card draw I can actually get out of every game. And there you go. There's a Blade Flurry, which is the automatic win. And there we go. I have 6 cards. He has 20. I'm 14 cards above him. And it's turn 7, and I have drawn that many more cards than him. And that's how easy the game is, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. And that's how you play this rogue deck.